One of the most frequently asked questions that I get from students and English learners is how they can improve their speaking skills. What many learners confuse is the difference between speaking fluently and correctly. Many learners face thinking in your native language, L1, and translating into English. Call everything around you in English. Childcare, childish, child. Hey guys, what's up? Atefe, your English coach here. One of the most frequently asked questions that I get from students and English learners is how they can improve their speaking skills. Some of the common complaints I get are that they cannot think in English when they try to speak, or they don't have enough vocabulary to speak confidently and fluently about different topics. Another complaint that I get is that they cannot speak like a native speaker, like an American or British native speaker. Some people also compare themselves with others, which adds unnecessary pressure. Let me clarify one of the biggest misconceptions people have, and that is speaking fluently means sounding like an American or British native speaker. You don't have to sound like an American or British native speaker. First of all, English native speakers are not just Americans or British people. There are many other countries where English is their native language. For example, Canada, Australia, Singapore, South Africa. What many learners confuse is the difference between speaking fluently and correctly and having an accent. You can speak fluently, correctly, and beautifully without necessarily having a British or American accent. So let's get rid of this misconception and take this stress off our shoulders. Now let me address another issue many learners face: thinking in your native language, L1, and translating into English. For example, if you're Turkish, you may think in Turkish and then try to translate into English. Or if you're Iranian, you may think in Farsi first and then translate. This is one of the biggest mistakes you can make. To truly improve your fluency, you have to stop thinking in your L1 and start thinking in the language you're learning. Recall everything around you in English. For instance, if you're walking down the street, try to name everything you see in English. Another useful technique is self-talk. Speak to yourself in English about what you're doing at the moment. For example, if you're preparing tea, say that I'm boiling water or I'm preparing tea. This will help you build the habit of thinking and speaking in English without translating from your native language. Over time, this will help you to significantly improve your speaking skills and also boost your confidence. If you enjoy these kinds of videos and would like to see more of them, click like and subscribe, and don't forget to click the notification bell to see the latest postings. Let me share some tips to help you expand your vocabulary. The first and the most important thing is to learn the meaning of a word in a context, not in isolation, at least in a sentence. And this is because one word may have different meanings in different sentences depending on the context. So if you don't learn the meaning of the word in a particular context, you likely won't be able to use this word in a correct context in the future. Another tip is keeping a vocabulary notebook. When you come across a new word, write it down and note the part of speech of that word. For example, is it a verb, a noun, an adjective, an adverb? And then add the other forms to your list. For example, if it's a verb, add the noun, adjective, and adverb form of the word. And then make a word family. It means you should add other words, related words to your list. For example, for the word child, you can add childcare, childish, childhood. Another key strategy is to check the root of the word along with its prefixes and suffixes. For example, the words vacant, vacancy, evacuate, and vacation share the root vac, which comes from the Latin word vacare, meaning empty. Look at their meanings. A vacant place is empty. A vacancy refers to an available space. To evacuate means to empty a place. And a vacation is a time when one is free or empty of work. Flashcards are also an effective tool. You can create your own or use platforms like Quizlet or apps like WordUp. Regular revision is crucial. If you can easily recall a word's meaning, move it to a separate pile to review it after 3 days or a week. If you struggle remembering the meaning, you have to review it after 2 days. If you don't remember at all, you have to review it the day after. It means you haven't learned it yet. Grammar is equally important in speaking. While reading grammar books and completing exercises is a traditional approach, there are more engaging alternatives. One such method is learning grammar chunks. For instance, focus on a structure like could have plus verb, past participle form of the verb. For example, could have gone, could have taken, could have done. Use tools like ChatGPT to generate numerous examples of the structure. Read them aloud repeatedly until you internalize the pattern. For speaking practice, if you don't have anyone to talk to, choose a topic, sit in front of a mirror, and speak about it. Record yourself to listen for mistakes and mispronunciations. You can also use ChatGPT to identify errors. This practice allows you to track your improvement over time. Lastly, memorizing and paraphrasing can be helpful, especially in the early stages of learning. So don't hesitate to use these techniques to build your confidence and fluency.